Everybody, Benefit the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Blood Bowl Team Guides 2025. We're going through every team available in Blood Bowl Season 3. We're looking at the changes, we're looking at the players, and we're looking at what team you can run if you pick up a box straight away. Now, of all the teams that have been touted as being one of the ones that have done very nicely in this edition, I am quite behind Necromantic being one of the most potent undead teams that we've got. So, let's dive in. So when it comes to Necromantic, the TLDR is that their stuff got cheaper. They didn't lose any positionals. Therefore, they have benefited. And in fact, the Ghouls have also got better. So it's a team that's done really well. It's become more affordable. And overall, it's just got a bit of a boost. So if you're a Necro fan, it's good times for you. Now, I don't think they are overpowered and I don't think they're egregious, but I think they are now potently competitive. So let's have a look at the roster. So Necromantic team, 70k rerolls is still expensive, but their players got cheaper, so you can buy basically one more positional than you used to be able to, I think. So that's looking really good. They've got Masters of Undeath and Sylvanian Spotlight. That affects which inducements they can take, but Masters of Undeath means if you kill a guy, you get a guy, which can be very useful as well. You will get a zombie. But I'll tell you what, let's just double check, because I can't remember whether you just get to keep the zombie. I think you do, to be honest. I think you just get to straight up keep that zombie immediately. So Masters of Undeath, once per game, if an opposition player with strength 4 or less that does not have stunty suffers a dead result when rolling on the casualty table, a team with this special rule can raise the dead. If they do, they may immediately add a single lineman player to their reserves box, and you may hire them for free at the end of the game. Absolutely nonsense. So if a player dies while playing against a Necromantic team, the Necromantic team gets a zombie for free. Oh, it's all coming up, Necro. Right, the roster itself. So 0 to 16 zombie linemen, and a couple of tweaks here to the zombies. They've got Eye Gouge, which now means if they block and they get a push result, your target, your victim, gets a little Eye Gouge token, and it means they can no longer provide an assist for blocking or fouling until they next activate. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, that's all right, but it means if you take a block with a zombie, a skull is bad, both down is bad, a push or pow, or even a dodge star is going to end up taking that assist away. So it can stack really nicely, and in a pinch, it's going to be really useful. Think of it as like a POV version of Hypnogaze. It's cool, and it's literally a free skill for the zombies. But they do have Unsteady. So in this edition of Blood Bowl, you've got the Secure the Ball skill, which means a player can waddle up to the ball, stop their activation, but they get to try and pick it up on a 2+. Unsteady players like zombies and, spoiler alert, flesh golems do not get to use that. So they're still picking it up on their integral edge of 4+. Now, as you look through this roster, it is limited on Edge 3+ players that can actually pick the ball up, but they're all really tough. So there will be some times where you struggle a bit on the edge picking up wise, but yeah, as we'll see, they've got some pretty potent players, so it's not insurmountable, shall we say. They got 0 to 2 Ghoul runners, where other teams have lost 4 Ghouls and gone down to 2. This team stayed at 2 Ghouls, and now they have regeneration. Well, which is phenomenally useful when it comes to a Ghoul. Not only because in-game you're going to get that Ghoul back 50% of the time if he gets absolutely murdered. From a league management point of view, it means your Ghouls are going to last longer. They are going to stick around. They are not going to be the ultimate weak point in your team anymore, so they're going to get those SPPs and they're going to keep them. The Wraith Blitzer is back. No major changes for him. The Werewolf is back. That guy did not need any changes, but I think his passing stat got better. And the Flesh Golem has come back with the same stats, the same skills. He does have Unsteady, so you're not going to be able to waddle over at the speed of 4 and pick up the ball with him. Well, you can. It's just a 4+ instead of a 2+. All right, so let's dive into the players. We've got the zombies. So the zombies are going to be your linemen, and they are a fantastic lineman for being punched. Of all the players kicking around Blood Bowl, the zombie, it takes the title as being the most punchable positional, I think, in the game. Movement 4, they're not going to deploy very fast. Strength 3 is fine. Edge 4+ isn't great. Passing 6+ isn't great. Armor 9+ is okay. Eye Gouge, regeneration, and unsteady. So you look at it and you go, that player is slow, clumsy, and can't even secure the ball. That's not what they're there for. One zombie can hold off a Minotaur probably the whole game. Like, this is what zombies are so effective at. Think about your zombie movies, right? Zombies, mob stuff, they just keep getting back up. They are very resilient. And zombies here, armor 9 plus, strength 3, and regeneration, they just take a punch and they get back up. They take a punch after punch after punch. And the zombie is going to be so effective. If your opponent's got a big guy, pair him off with a zombie, and they are basically going to be forced to eat that zombie. Eventually, the zombie may die, but that's 40k's worth of player against probably 140k worth of player. That's TVOP, that's team value on pitch. That's a really good investment for you. Now, zombies can also provide a wonderful assist to some of your other players as well. So zombies are incredibly useful. Eye Gouge makes them more useful. Regen keeps them in the game. Unsteady isn't really a problem. Now, skills-wise, they are one of the players that get Devious on a primary, along with General. So on a 3 SPP, you can roll a random. In fact, you roll 2 randoms and pick one. 6 SPP to choose a skill, and 10 SPP for a double, which is agility and strength. Now, armor 9 plus regeneration means that zombies are going to be sticking around, so I would understand if you were like, oh, I'm just going to wait to 10 SPP and take guard and just guard spam on my zombies. It's going to take you a while, but it's definitely something you can achieve. The cool thing about zombies is where they do get access to Devious, they are a wonderful candidate for this team for taking Dirty Player, for taking Lone Fowler, and just being able to just literally put the boot in if you want to take that skill, but just make those fouls. They're 40k, they're what, 60k with a skill. If you can foul and take a player off that's worth way more than 60k, then you're going to make a massive difference in the game. So zombies, they do what they do. They do it a little better now with Eye Gouge, which is just stick around, get in the way, and cause problems. So good job, zombies. And talking of causing problems, the Ghoul Runner. So the Ghouls are a fantastic positional. Movement 7, strength 3, and 3 plus, passing 3 plus, armor 9 plus. They start with dodge, and now they've leveled up with regeneration. And we said all this already. Regeneration is just going to keep them kicking around. It's going to keep them in the game sometimes, which is fantastic. But if you're playing these guys in a league, it's going to keep them leveling up. You're not going to, get to block and then he dies. Well, actually, you're going to get to block and then he might die, but there's a good chance he will undie himself, and that's going to be very lovely for your roster. Passing 3 plus got a little bit better. They don't have a huge amount of targets to be passing to, but the Ghoul Runners and the Werewolves do both have passing 3 plus now. So you've got a little bit of an option there in up to 4 high-speed, reasonable strength players that can cheeky 3 plus pass to each other in a pinch if you can't get the movement there. So don't think about the 3 plus passing as being like, oh, I'm supposed to throw with the Ghoul. No, it just means you can if you need to. And on top of that, movement 7, edge 3 plus dodge. You've got plenty of space. You've got plenty of movement. You've got plenty of range there. With a 3 square passing 3 plus, that's 10 squares, 12 squares with a couple of rushes. It's if you need a stretch game, they could do it in a pinch. So leveling up with the Ghouls, I mean, block is going to be really useful. This whole roster loves a bit of block. Now, block is an elite skill in this edition, which means it's 30k add instead of 20k. So your Ghoul will go up to 105k if you give him block. Worth it. Blodge Ghouls are fantastic. They've got a great suite of skills. In fact, I think they get access to everything except mutation. So, block is obviously a really great one to go with, but a cheeky bit of wrestle here. So block is going to keep them standing if they're your ball carrier and gives you a nice movement 7 blitzer as well. A kind of reserve role with a good dodge. You can go wrestle because they've got that little bit of dodge that keeps them alive a bit as well. So you could potentially go wrestle on your Ghouls. Not great if they're going to be your ball carriers, but still quite a useful skill to have. Edge-wise, you've got sidestep and hit and run potentially could be a really cool skill to add on a Ghoul Runner. But Ghouls are kind of a toolkit, and the wonderful thing about the Necro roster is you've got players that are interchangeable. So your mileage may vary. You may look at the Werewolves and go, Werewolves. I know they've got Frenzy, but they look like my ball carriers. And the Ghouls, actually, they're going to be the safeties, the ball sackers. We're going to get wrestle, we're going to get tackle on them. That's what they're going to do. You've got 4 runners, 2 are Werewolves, 2 are Ghouls. You can chop and change as you like. And the other thing that I'm going to mention now, we're going to talk about it when we come to the Werewolves as well, but 10 SPP for a secondary now. So for the Ghoul here, you've got Devious, you've got Passing, and you've got Strength. 14 SPP gives you a cheeky little stat up, and that could give you a Movement 8 Ghoul, could give you a Strength 4 Ghoul. And it's definitely within the range of possibility now, especially because these guys have got regeneration. So you could see a cheeky Ghoul getting block at 6 SPPP, and then waiting a little bit longer and just taking a stat up and just seeing what happens. Okay, so they also have a blitzer positional. Now, the Wraith is a quality player. He got changed in the last edition. Is it the last edition? Or, yeah, the beginning of the last edition. You used to have white blitzers, which were basically human blitzers. Then they got changed to the Ghost. They got changed to the Wraith. So movement 6, strength 3, edge 3+, no passing, armor 9+, block, foul appearance, regen, no ball, and sidestep. So no passing. They've got edge 3+, but they cannot pick up the ball. They cannot secure it. They cannot get the ball in any way, shape, or form. They're a ghost. So what this does give you, though, is a really great little blitzer. Movement 6 is not the fastest, but block is wonderful. And where this player has got sidestep, it's going to mean they're going to be able to maneuver to where you want to go. Foul appearance is wicked. Now, it changed a little in this edition. In the last edition, if you declared a blitz against a foul appearance piece, you rolled foul appearance at that point. Now it's right as you block. So if your opponent wants to base your Wraith, they're going to be able to do it. They may not be able to punch you, and that's okay. Sometimes they're just going to get there and not be able to make the block. But when they do, if you don't go down, because let's bear in mind, strength 3 is pretty good, block is incredibly useful, sidestep means you may be able to put him exactly where you want him to be. Regen's going to keep you cooking. Are they really 85k? That's really good. I wonder if they've gone down in price as well, and I didn't notice. Because that's pretty good. 85, yeah. Now the downside about this player is obviously they can't pick up the ball, so there's that. However, their strength and general access is pretty great. So a Wraith there with block, sidestep, and a cheeky bit of guard becomes really effective in this edition. He also does with a bit of mighty blow, with a bit of tackle. The Wraith Blitzer is actually a very utilitarian piece. I'm a big fan of it. Oh, just living the dream of getting to 10 SPP and taking dodge on this guy as well, just to become a blodge step piece on this roster is great. But actually, I think the Wraith Blitzer, you've got that foul appearance to keep him alive, you've got block to keep him alive, you've got sidestep to keep him where you want him to be. Guard is really fun for the Wraiths because it just helps your other positionals out really nice. Alright, so the Werewolf. There is a theme in this edition where the stat line of strength 3, movement 8 is incredibly tantalizing, and the Werewolf really exemplifies this. So movement 8, strength 3, edge 3+, passing 3+, armor 9+, durable, fast, reasonably strong, reasonably agile, reasonably good at passing. The Werewolf gets top marks for trying. And then he's got some fun skills too. So regeneration is going to keep the Werewolf alive, going to keep him in the game, going to keep him leveling up. Claws and frenzy means that at some point in the game, at some point in your league, your Werewolf is going to have a target-rich environment. And the fun thing here when it comes to Werewolves is, because you've got that frenzy and strength 3, if you can chuck a friend on there, you're probably going to be able to 4-die blitz any target. Now, low armor target, all right, we're going to be able to pound and take an armor roll. High armor target, bit of support there. Claws is just going to give you another shot to break armor. So the Werewolf is a really useful player. As a gutter runner fan, Werewolves suck, right? Werewolf on gutter runner, 4 dice. Even though I've got dodge, the Werewolf is probably going to take that gutter down with 4 dice. But he's got claws, which makes him really useful against high armor targets as well. And movement 8 means he's got a ton of range, which means he's either going to get there and not need to take the rushes to take those frenzy hits, or he's going to be able to get there and just take some go for it to take those frenzy hits. Werewolves are great as safeties, but that cheeky bit of movement 8 makes you really excited to score with them as well. So when it comes to leveling up the Werewolves, they get a ton of cool stuff. They've got agility and general on primary. They've got DPS on secondary, so strength, you can save up, you can take a bit of mighty blow if you want to go that way with the Werewolf, but really the fact you've got agility in general, Werewolves are prime to be blodgers. The block helps them hit better, the dodge keeps them mobile and keeps them standing better, because frenzy, you force the follow up, there's going to be some times where your Werewolf is getting punched back. Now, there is another agility skill that I think could be really fun on the Werewolf, which is, ooh, actually, does it work? Does it work? Let's check this out. A player with this skill cannot also have frenzy. I was thinking hit and run, but actually it doesn't work with frenzy, so ignore that comment. Block is wonderful, dodge is great, and then it's just all uphill from there. Now, this team doesn't have a big guy, it has a medium guy, and it can take a pair of them. So 0-2 Flesh Golems, Movement 4, Strength 4, Edge 4+, Passing 6+, Armor 10+, Regeneration, Stand Firm, Thick Skull, and Unsteady. 110k, quite an expensive positional, but the best way to consider this is a super zombie. Same movement, same agility, same roll, but Strength 4 just means you're going to be able to get those profitable blocks in a lot more frequently. And with good skill access here, the Flesh Golem is primed to get a bit of Mighty Blow, to get a bit of guard, to just keep those blocks hitting. He does also have a shot at taking the block skill too, which a Strength 4 piece with block is never really a bad thing. The great thing about Necro is you've got sort of different ways to play. You can prioritize your Flesh Golems and have heavy muscle and try and control the ground. You've got Stand Firm and Strength 4, which is going to be really beneficial. Or you can leave the Flesh Golems to last and prioritize high movement, high impact players. So the Flesh Golem is my personal lowest rank of position on this team, but it is a wicked positional. The durability, Armor 10+ and Strength 4, with Thick Skull and Regeneration, means that if you put one or two of these guys on the line of scrimmage or just in a place, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere. They're literally not going anywhere, and Armor 10 is rough. If you can break the Armor 10, and if you can get a good block in with the fact they're Strength 4, you've still got Thick Skull to compete with. So a pair of Flesh Golems makes your front line very, very resilient, and often, if you can chuck a bit of guard in there as well, it means your zombies start acting like they're Strength 4 as well, and you can start making some very powerful frontline counterplays. So it's up to you when it comes to Necro, whether you're a Flesh Golem guy or a Werewolf guy. I just love the fact you've got the choice. But let's face it, after a few games, you're getting them all, and you are just going to start brewing up something nasty. Alright, so the Necro box is a wicked box. You get 14 players, you get a ton of zombies. They're cool little pumpkin zombies. You get all your positionals. It's just phenomenal. So I wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody who likes Blood Bowl. If you grab a box, now this roster here is not souped up for League. We will look at the Necro starting rosters in more detail when we do the Necro starting rosters video. But if you want to get a taste of Necromantic, and this is what this roster is for, 4 zombies, 2 ghouls, 2 wraiths, 2 werewolves, 1 flesh golem, and 2 rerolls, comes in at 970k. There's so many iterations you can take here. You could drop a flesh golem and take a bunch of extra stuff, like an extra zombie, an extra reroll. There's a ton of flex when it comes to the roster. What this, I think, gives you is the opportunity to, 1, paint all the cool models in your team. 2, get to experiment with all the positionals so that you can figure out which kind of Necro team you want to go with. And all those asterisk players can only get 7 of the 8, but you can do a little flex and just swap one out. If you want to run both the Flesh Golems, take away a blitzer, take away a ghoul, it's okay. You can basically fudge the cost there for most of the positionals that you can kind of make it work. Now, I personally have gone with the Golems last. I do love them. They are excellent. But I think if you are trying out this team, I think you want both the ghouls to see how great they are. You want both the werewolves to see how powerful they can be. And you want both those blitzers because you need to learn how to use those positionals that come with no ball. And the cheeky bit of block sidestep, it kind of helps you learn the potential. The Flesh Golem, I think, is the simplest player overall because it is just a stronger, more resilient zombie. So I feel like you run one Flesh Golem, you can be like, oh, I like this. I would definitely like another one. There's less to learn there than I think running a werewolf and having to deal with the fact that they're going to frenzy trap themselves sometimes than running the Wraith Blitzers but having to learn that they can't pick up the ball. I just think for starting, if you want like a taste test of Necromantic, I would run this and then buckle up for the starting rosters video because I really like Necro for the flexibility. Every one of those positionals is wicked and you want them, and I think it's just a very cool box. Okay, so Necro. They were good already, and I think in this edition they just got a bit more good. The cost reductions really help. The way that skills develop in this edition really help. Zombies are great anyway. Necro have a lot of character, and the ghouls are powerful, the werewolves are powerful, the wraiths are cool, the flesh golems are problematic, even the zombies are great. It's a ton of character, and it is a very potent roster, and another roster for Season 3 where I'm looking at it being like, oh yeah, that would be really great. I could brew a werewolf up like this, I could do this with the ghoul, and then I could save up. tons of potential when it comes to Necro. I think it's one of the teams that can be run the most powerfully by someone who learns it, but it's also the team that probably has got the most to learn by playing it. I love it. I think it's really cool. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll be back soon with more Bubba content. Happy blocking.